Hello everyone. Welcome to another harmonic journey. There's a beautiful passage in the Bible which tells us how God made man. And it says that God took the dust of the earth and blew into it. This to me is profound because it tells us that God is breathing us, that our life is the very breath of God moving through us. And if we can sometimes pause during the day, not even pause, but just bring that idea to mind, whether we're brushing our teeth or getting ready or having our breakfast or whatever we're doing, email, and have that idea that God is breathing us. Something shifts in our consciousness. I know it does for me. It's just like it's different. I'm no longer on automatic. It's almost like I'm open to a sacredness, or just allowing that moment to be sacred. God is breathing me, you, us, right now. So our harmonic journey is based on that idea, but more than an idea, based on that experience that God is breathing us. So let's, as always, just create the energy field. Kind of create the energy field is a little egotistical, I think. We're not really creating it, but we're, in a sense, preparing the space in a different way. So we ask for the highest and purest light from the highest and purest source to surround and fill the space we're in and each one of us for the highest good. And these days, to get that feeling of connection, what I like to say is that to ask for the light to surround and fill this universe, this galaxy, this planet, this continent, this country, this state, this city, this neighborhood, this building, this room, and each one of us for the highest good. And I say that because then it allows me to feel connected with everything, which, of course, each one of us is. We're part of this whole, this oneness. We ask lovingly for the mystical traveler consciousness, that inner master, to come forward from within each of our hearts and transmute and release and dissolve any negativity or upset or anxiety that may be in us at this point, any insecurity, feeling of loneliness, of disconnection, anything that's of a negative nature. We ask that that be taken back into the nothingness from which it came for the highest good. We move into our loving hearts. The Lord Jesus Christ, we ask, be with us, guiding us, assisting us, blessing us, supporting us and protecting us. And for the energy and presence of John Roger, my spiritual teacher, John Roger, to infuse everything we're doing here for the highest good. So the energy field is prepared, or we've created that space. We've called ourselves forward into that dimension of reality. And there's a whole choice of vibrations that we can call ourselves forward into. And a simple analogy of that is I could fill the room with classical music by dialing it in if I have a radio, or with discordant music. Whatever music you don't like is discordant music. Whatever, or talk radio, or angry radio. There's a lot of vibrations to choose from, even in our own consciousness. So what do we want to dial in? That's really important. It's a very important part of these harmonic journeys. So God is breathing us. And so we can begin by closing our eyelids. It's probably easy, although you don't have to. You can keep them open. You can do whatever you want to do, really, because I'm not going to know. So but if you're along for the ride here, if you're along for this journey, probably best to close your eyelids and just bring your attention to the rising and the falling of your breath. And now be aware that you're receiving this breath. You're not taking the breath, you're receiving this breath. And then letting go of no longer receiving it. Now there's a couple of things that could come to mind. Well, first of all, loss can come to mind and you're just distracted and you lose that connection with the breath. And that's why the breath is so valuable, because we can use it as a device, a technique, a tool to bring us into the present moment. So that's very vital for us to know. So now we go a little deeper, and this receiving of the breath is just not an abstract. We're actually receiving God's breath. And even further, God is breathing us. Just allow that in, that God is breathing you. And see if something lets go. I know it just did for me. Just something lets go to create more space for that breath of God. Now in the Bible it says that God is love, and that whoever dwells in love dwells in God and God in them. So if the word God bothers you, then just substitute love. But for this process we're going to receive God's breath into us, and then as we exhale, we're going to allow love to radiate out from us. We let God breathe us as we inhale, and we let love radiate out from us on the exhale. Let's do that 2 or 3 times. One of the more difficult things to do when we become conscious of our breath is not to interfere. It's almost like we want to regulate it. So just to really let go and allow God to breathe us is a tremendous thing. We're really accepting. We really are receiving without conditions, really, and certainly God is giving to us without conditions. So we're not forcing anything or not trying, we're not doing anything. God is breathing us. And all we're doing is, as we let go of that breath, love radiates from us. And sometimes we tend to think, I do, that love is radiating out from the front of us, but there's also a back and side. So love can be this, almost like this beach ball effect, that it just radiates out from all over us. Now, our first entrance into this world begins with an inhalation. And our exit from this world ends with an exhalation. We expire with an expiration. And we come in with an inhalation. So what that means is that in each cycle of breath, in the way we're dying and we're being reborn. So each moment becomes new. Every inhalation is a rebirth. Every exhalation is an expiration. So it's in both ways we're surrendering. We're surrendering to the inhalation where we say, well, God is breathing, God is giving me life. And then with our last breath that we take, in a sense, we surrender back into God. Perhaps some of you are feeling a profound thing take place, which is almost like a merging with this God energy. So kind of a letting go. And now we can even take it deeper, because where is that breath going? Of course, our bodies don't stop at the lungs. Of course, the air itself is going into our lungs, but our cells breathe. Otherwise, they couldn't be alive either. Our cells breathe. So as we experience this breath, this inhalation, this God breathing us, God is breathing all of us. So see if you can just feel it from the tip of your head to the tips of your toes, the top of your head to the tips of your toes, and in your fingertips as well. As you receive God's breath, can you feel it going into your cells? And can you feel the cells letting go of the breath? And here's where the challenge comes. Where are you resisting God in your body? Where have you created a wall against really receiving the fullness of God's breath into you? Where you truly say, I'm here, I'm open, I'm a vessel, I'm an instrument, I'm a flute through which the wind from heaven blows through completely and fully. There's nothing bad about having a wall of resistance to the breath. It's just good that you're becoming aware of it. This wall could be a physical one. There could be tightness, in which case you can let go and allow the breath to come fully through. Could be an emotional wall. Maybe it's a wall of anger or upset or resentment. Or a mental wall. Maybe it's a wall of non-acceptance. I don't like this. I don't want to be here. A wall that we're not allowing the gift of God's breath coming into us at this moment. Again, all we're doing is just receiving God's breath and then letting love radiate out from us. And opening ourselves on all our levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, unconsciously, to receive this breath in our imagination wherever it can go. Spaces letting go where there was log jams and tightness, everything unwinding to glory in God's breath, celebrating it, receiving it. And to me, there's always this moment of great gratitude to allow this breath in, to be thankful for this gift that keeps on giving to us. Seeing if it can just go through our whole body and consciousness. Experiencing a oneness. And so you can continue on with this if you like. I know some of you just are playing this before you go to bed at night, and it's just a beautiful way to enter into sleep, enter into God's arms. But for those of you who are just doing this in the day, you can gently begin to come back into your space by gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. And slowly opening your eyes as you begin to feel the outer sensations of your body, where once again your physical body begins to take shape. We move into this oneness, kind of this formlessness, coming back into the form, into this world. Berush Beishan.